श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वती। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरम् गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। Hari Om. Let us read the verses 9 through 11 that we completed last class. Uddharetatmanatmanam Magnam samsaravaridhau yogarudhatvamasadhya samyak darshana nishtaya. Lift yourself by yourself from drowning in the ocean of samsara by taking up Jnana Yoga and then gaining that knowledge and abiding in that knowledge. So, sanyasya sarva karmani bhava bandha vimuktaye yatyatam panditai dhiraihi atmabhyasa upastitai. So the learned man, a man of discrimination, dhira purusha, must pursue this Atma Jnana, self-knowledge, by giving up all actions for gaining freedom from samsara. Give up all actions. The role and limitations of karma were pointed out in verse 11. Chittasya shuddhaye karma natu vastu upalabhyate vastu siddhir vicharena nakinchit karma kotibihi. By karma, here we mean karma yoga also. Karma yoga was meant. and its purpose is to gain purity of mind. Chittasya shuddhaye karma. Okay, after you give that up and do the vichara, what can provide realization, what can give you that knowledge is vichara, inquiry into the truth, not action. So we have seen up to this so far. So let us continue with verse 12. Samyag vicharata siddha, samyag vicharata siddha, rajjutatvavadharana, rajjutatvavadharana, Bhrantyodita mahasarpa, Bhrantyodita mahasarpa, Bhayadukka vinashini, Bhayadukka vinashini. So Bhashyakara said, vichara, inquiry alone gives knowledge, self-knowledge. And that knowledge alone gives freedom. There is no other method. When we say that, some people may think that this is a very short-sighted approach, a fanatic approach. There is a widespread thinking that we should accept all religions, we should accept all systems of philosophy. We should have an open, generous heart. We should be Catholic in our attitude. We should not be parochial. We should accept everyone's theory. And therefore, we should say all religions lead to moksha, or all paths, all margas lead to moksha, liberation. You can get there through karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, raja yoga, hatha yoga, kundalini yoga, nada yoga, so many. Otherwise they say, we are very narrow-minded. This is fanaticism. So if you think that we are fanatic, does not matter. I would rather be a fanatic than be a lunatic. Why? Shankaracharya gives an example here to make us understand why this is a fact and not fanaticism. The well-known Vedantic example is what he gives here. The error of thinking that a rope is a snake. In semi-darkness, there lies a piece of rope. Semi-darkness is important. If it is completely dark, totally dark, fully dark, we will not see anything at all. There is no scope for error. Ignorance, total ignorance is bliss. If it is bright also, there shouldn't be any problem because we will see the rope very clearly. Actually, total knowledge is ignorance is bliss is just a saying. However, when the light is not fully there, there is some light but not total light. Darkness is also there. Then we see something, some object is there, but we cannot know for sure what it is. Something is there in that partial light. So there is what we call Samanya Jnanam. Samanya Jnanam, general knowledge, that Samanya Jnanam. But we do not have the specific knowledge that it is a rope. It is not bright enough. It is not bright enough to see the rope as it is. So there is what we call Samanya Jnanam, general knowledge, but there is no Vishesha Jnana, specific knowledge, it's not there. We see some object, it is curled, length is about say 3 or 4 feet. Looking at all those, he thinks it's a snake. So the error, the mistake is born out of rope ignorance. Ignorance of the rope. I do not know it is a rope. Not Samanya Jnana Abhavaha. It's not the absence of general knowledge that something is there. We know that. But Vishesha Jnana Abhavat. It is due to the absence of very particular knowledge. Exactly what it is, that I don't know. Then when I don't know what it is, our imagination kicks into full gear. Then I imagine a snake. Once this notion of snake is born, a person has fear. So the situation here is what? Ajnanam, ignorance. Ajnana janya sarpaha, the snake born out of ignorance. Sarpa janya bhayam, ignorance born snake. Snake born fear. This is the situation. Now, Bhashyakara asks, how many ways can you remove this problem? Problem is, you're afraid that it's a snake and the snake is going to run right to you and bite you. So how many ways can we remove this bhaya for the fear to go away? For the fear to go away, the snake must go. How will the snake go? You can call a snake charmer and ask him to catch that snake. What can he catch? It's an imagined snake. Or you can chant Garuda mantra. You all know that snake and Garuda, they are bitter enemies, and invariably Garuda wins. So invoke Garuda. Make that Garuda take that snake away. Will it work? No. The only way is that ignorance that it is a snake, that has to go away. Then only the snake will go away. So how will that ignorance go away? Ignorance can go away only through knowledge. Knowledge will remove that it is not a snake, and you will get the knowledge it is a rope. And once you see it, it is a rope, it's a harmless rope, then there will be no fear. Fear will go away. So if I say, hey, knowledge alone removes fear, am I a fanatic? Or am I a sane, thinking person? Naturally, every one of you will agree, I'm not fanatic. So to avoid the fanaticism charge, I cannot accept all your philosophy. All your theories, all your methods to kill the snake. I beat the snake, charmer, all that, none of that will work. Similarly, Shankaracharya says, Jnanena eva mokshaha. Liberation is only through knowledge. It's not a fanatic approach, it's a fact. This is the clarity of thinking. So Bhashyakara says here, Rajju Tattva Avadharana means a clear knowledge, clear determination of the rope. Tattva, the truth, the essence, the object that it is lying there, the essence of that object really is rope. And avadharana means nishchaya jnanam, a firm knowledge. You cannot say, it may be a rope. Huh? I squinted a little bit, looked at it a little closer. It doesn't look like a snake. It may be a rope. That kind of, iffy knowledge will not work. Because immediately next thought will be, what if it is not a rope, but it's really a snake? I don't want to take the risk. Similarly, if I say the world is Brahman, that is one thing. But if I say the world may be Brahman, that's not good enough. So, avadharana means that I should know that this is the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. This is called avadharana. This Rajju Tattva avadharana is Vinashini, that is the destroyer. Destroyer of what? Mahasarpa Bhranti Udita Bhaya Dukkha. This removes the dukkha, the sorrow. Sorrow coming from bhaya, fear. And how did that fear come? Bhranti, because of ignorance. Ignorance of what? Mahasarpa. So suffering from the ignorance born huge snake. How did the snake come into existence first? It didn't come from a mother snake, but purely because of rope ignorance. Therefore, he says, Bhrantihi Udita, born due to the error of taking the rope to be snake, the erroneous perception of a snake. In short, knowledge alone will destroy this particular fear. So, how can you get this knowledge? So, suppose when I have this fear of the snake, can I sit there and chant Vishnu Sahasranama to make the fear go away? You will be chanting all right, but every second you will be at the corner of your eye or turning a little bit here. Snake still there? Or did it come this side? All the drama will be going on. However, a great devotee you may be, it will not help. When that Rajju Sarpa, the rope snake comes, what you need is to intelligently bring a flashlight. Throw that light on that rope, and in clear light, you see the rope. So, the appropriate means of knowledge, pramanam, in that case, is that flashlight. Similarly, in our case, for samsara dukkha and all that, to remove that, we need Shastra Pramanam. Shastra Pramanam. The right means of knowledge is only our scriptures to light up to give us knowledge and see that the whole Dvaitam world is an error and that is playing upon this Advaitam Brahma. Therefore, he says, Samyak Vicharatah Siddha. This knowledge is gained through Samyak Vicharatah, proper inquiry. Only through that you can get that knowledge, and then the samsara bhayam, samsara dukkha, everything will go away. So Atma Jnanam should come, and for that Atma Jnanam, Vichara, Atma Vichara, inquiry into the self, that is a must. Continuing. Artasya nishchayo drashtah, artasya nishchayo drashtah, vicharena hitoktitah, vicharena hitoktitah, nasnanena nadanena, nasnanena nadanena, pranayama shatena va, pranayama shatena va, artasya nishchayo drashtah, vicharena hitoktitah, nasnanena nadanena, pranayama shatena va. The same idea is reinforced here in this shloka. The last verse was the example, drashtanta. Here is dashtanta. So, in the previous verse, one approach was taken. This verse does the same, reinforces the same idea by the methodology of Vyatireka. What is Vyatireka? Previous verse, he said inquiry alone gives knowledge and nothing else. When you say inquiry alone can give knowledge, it's a positive statement, and that is called Anvaya. Presence of vichara, bringing in vichara will solve your problem. Nothing else will give knowledge. Now here is Vyatireka. What all will not give you. I had in that example, I told you what all will not drive the snake away. He didn't mention it that way. Here, in the case of self-knowledge, he says, what all things you can do which will be useless. So he says, Artasya nishchayah vicharena. Nishchayah means drida jnanam, firm knowledge. Firm knowledge of reality. Artha means the reality, the vastu, that Brahman. So the reality will vary according to context. In the case of snake problem, rope is the reality. Whenever there is a self-ignorance problem, the reality is the self. Artasya nishchayah means satya vastunah drida jnanam. Vicharena eva. The reality is gained only through inquiry. And that inquiry cannot be any independent inquiry. The inquiry must be hitoktitah. Hitah means guru, a well-wisher. Hitam is well-being. So hitah, one who wishes well for you, and that is the guru, a guide. Uktitah means vachyam, what he says. So hitoktitah means guru vakyam, the teachings of a teacher. Acharya Upadesha. In the previous shloka, I said Shastram Vakyam is the flashlight. Here I am saying is the flashlight. We do not make any difference between Shastra and Guru. Because a Guru, by definition, is one whose teachings are based on Shastra. Shrotriya Brahmanishtam, elsewhere we have seen. He is a Shrotriya. Studied the scriptures very well. And that too through Guru Shishya Parampara, and that is what he is going to teach you. So, Shastra Vichara and Guru Vakya, both must be given importance. Both should be given importance. Instead, without Shastra Vichara, a person does varieties of spiritual sadhana for gaining self-knowledge. It's like without using a flashlight, doing various actions in front of the rope snake. You imagine snake is there, and instead of switching on that piece that is lying, you do all other things. Nothing will help. So in the same way here, Bhashikara says, na snanena. You might have taken a dip in all the sacred rivers of the world. Kurute Ganga Sagara Gamanam Vrata Paripalanam Atavadanam Jnana Vihinah Sarvamatena Bhajatina Muktim Janmashatena. Most of you would have heard this beautiful words from Bhajagovindam. You can do so many. Ganga Sagara Gamanam. So you trek those 2000 miles from where Gangaji starts and go all the way where it merges into the Bay of Bengal, about 2000 miles. You walk. Vrata Paripalanam. So many vows, austerities. Atava Danam. Do lot of charity. All that is fine. They have their own benefits, but they won't give you knowledge. Jnana vihinaha sarvamatena. Everybody says, without knowledge, bhajatina muktim. You won't get liberation. Janmashatena. Even through hundreds of births, countless births. No can do. So you have to use the appropriate means, not just any means. Be very careful. Sometimes you may get confused. These are confusing statements, may be misinterpreted. Don't say from tomorrow I will not take bath. No snana. Shankaracharya has said, snanena na mukti. He never said that snana will not give anything at all. You have to take a bath. If not for yourself, for people around. Snana has its own rule. Of course, this is done as a sadhana. Taking dip. The holy rivers, we just had how many people, crores of people going to the Kumbh Mela, taking a dip. Yes, it does purify. The regular bath that you take purifies the body, it will give you good health. And this Tirtha Yatra, taking dip in holy rivers, that also will purify your mind, etc. And so many vratas, austerities that you take, that will also help you, no question about it. And dana, charity, of course, Definitely. Actually, only through charity the dhanam gets purified. The wealth gets. If you just hoard your wealth, it will stink. That wealth has to roll from you to others. Similarly, we don't condemn pranayama also. Pranayama, wonderful tool. Wonderful tool. Extremely wonderful practice to tone up annamaya kosha, to tone up pranamaya kosha. And you can even restrain the mind, manomaya kosha also. You can gain focus of mind. Wonderful discipline. So Vedanta does not question the value or the role of all these sadhanas, including pranayama. All these have a place and role in integrating our personality. After integrating your personality, your physical, your physiological, mental, all those personalities, after integrating them, come to Jnana Marga. You come to Shastra, come to Shastra Vichara, go to a Guru. Similarly, dana is also extremely important. And Bhagavan stresses all this in the Bhagavad Gita also. Yajnadana tapah karma na tyajyam karyameva tat yajnyodanam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. Okay. I'm having some problems. It's coming down hard, the rain is, and so that's a disturbance. I hope you're all back. So somebody show a thumbs up so that I can see. Can you? Yeah. Thank you, Bridgie. Okay, thank you. So, Bhagavan Sri Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, okay? So, yajnadana tapa should never be given up. Misinterpreting this line, na snanena, na danena, pranayama shatena va, do not drop all that. Do not drop all that. All these are very useful, very much so. Okay. Now a very important shloka. Somebody is there, has understood that liberation is my goal. Brahmajnana is the means, and therefore I go to a teacher also. I go to a teacher also. There are so many students are out there. What we find is that the place is the same. What is taught, subject is the same. The teacher, same. Everything is same. but we find the comprehension of the students and the results that are seen are different. So Bhagwan Bhashyakara makes one thing very clear. On only the student, the qualification of the student. So that is said in the next verse. Let us read. Adhikarinam ashaste phalasiddhir visheshatah उपायादेशकालाद्याः सन्त्यस्मिन् सहकारिणः अधिकारिणमाशास्ते फलसिद्धिर्विशेषतः उपायदेशकालाद्याः सन्त्यस्मिन् सहकारिणः. In the 13th shloka, the topics of Jnanam and Vichara are concluded. So we have seen Jnanam is Moksha Sadhanam and Vicharaha is Jnana Sadhanam. So in this next verse, we enter the Adhikari topic, the qualifications required on the part of the student. Shankaracharya says qualifications of a student play a very important role for the knowledge to take place. Given a few examples before also. For a plant to grow, the land must be prepared well. If a seed is sown in the desert sand, it will not sprout. How will it? It's not the mistake of the seed. Only that land is unsuitable. The type of soil should be right for that plant to grow. The preparation of the soil is not an easy job. You need to till the land, the amount of water that is required, it must have all the nutrients, right amount of sunlight is required. So Shankaracharya says, Phalasiddhihi ashaste, for the accomplishment of the result. Ashaste heavily depends upon the attainment of moksha, depends visheshatah, particularly, primarily upon adhikarinam, on the competency of the student, eligibility of the student, fitness of the student. Success in spiritual path, and in fact any field for that matter, mainly depends on the student. How much of the inner qualities the student has, how much of sacrifices he is ready to make, how much time and effort he devotes, and the price he has to pay, he is ready to pay. That is why the olden days, it was kept a secret, not because there is a mystery to it and all that, but because the success of Vedanta very heavily depends upon the receiver. When Bhagavan Sri Krishna talks about this, 17th chapter also, Patram is important. The receiver, the receptacle, student has to be fed. So then what can be and what should be given publicly, if not this Vedanta knowledge? Karma Shastram, Karma Yoga can be given freely. Karma Yoga is not Vedanta. It comes under Karma Shastram. Values come under Karma Shastram. Ashtanga Yoga, Karma Shastram. Whether it is in schools, colleges or public, they can be given. That is why we generally give more importance to Gita than Upanishads. Even though Swami Chinmayananda brought out scriptures, he always emphasized Gita. Gita is more appropriate for most people. The entire third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is Karma Yoga, devoted to Karma Yoga. 16th and 17th chapters, no Vedanta. All the sadhanam only talked about. Even in the 6th chapter, meditation itself, he begins with Karma Shastra. So when we teach Gita, we can emphasize more of Karma Shastra and less on Vedanta. And after seeing those people who are really qualified, we can quietly give them Vedanta knowledge also. Naturally, only qualified students will gravitate towards this knowledge. Okay? So, you don't have to be too particular about that. Start giving, and after a little while, if there is some attrition, you know why. The reason is this. The self-selection bias will be there. So he says, Visheshatah, primarily it depends upon the adhikari. Chandogya Upanishad itself is an example. Brahmaji, who is the Adi Guru, took two disciples, Indra and Virochana. Both of them went to Brahmaji for self-knowledge. Indra, a Deva, and Virochana was an Asura, king of Asuras. Both of them went. And Brahmaji, the best teacher in the creation, he taught. Virochana not only did not understand, he misunderstood and started creating more problems for the world. Brahmaji took the first lesson. And then Virochana at the end of the first class said, Namaste. I got what I wanted. I got the message. So I am going. In that lesson, Brahmaji said, body is the Atma. So that is the message he got. So he took that message and told all Asuras, body is the Atma, pamper it, do everything so that the body is hale and healthy, it enjoys. That is how all the Asuras are body focused. Indra also thought that was the message, but then he had some doubts, so he stayed back. And then second lesson, third lesson, and finally in the fourth lesson, he really gave him the true lesson that you are Brahman, that is the Atma, Tattvamasi. Okay? So, sometimes we are also like that. We don't have patience. Okay, this is too much. I got enough of this. I got the message. So, anyway, it depends on the fit student. Indra being a fit student, he gained the knowledge. So, the competence of the teacher is one thing, and the case in point is even Brahmaji failed in the case of Virochana. So, if the student is an Asura, and Asura does not mean a demon, a Rakshasa, don't understand it that way. Asura means a sensualist, reveling in sense pleasures. Therefore, Adhikarinam ashaste. Very important. The adhikari qualifications of the adhikari is important. Not only qualifications are important, other incidentals or desha kalabhyam. Desha, place. Kala, time. Desha kalabhyam, place and time are also. I ask you to study Kathopanishad in the football stadium during Super Bowl. Can you do that? With so much of distraction. Concentration is impossible. Or Grand Central Station, New York City, Grand Central Station. With so much distraction, concentration is not possible. On the contrary, you sit in a library where it is quiet and nobody disturbs you, or in your home, in your study, or in puja room, or in a gurukula, or in the class with like-minded people, like what we have here. There is proper setup where other people have also the same mentality. Then serious study can happen. So he says, Deshaha Sahakari, a suitable place is also a contributory cause. We do not say it is a must, but it contributes to the success. Similarly, we say sannyasa ashrama is a contributory cause. We do not say sannyasa ashrama is compulsory. If I tell you become a sannyasi and get this knowledge, then I will not have any student next week. But if not actual physical sannyasa, at least mentally, that vairagyam, etc. should be there. More of it we will see. He is just introducing the idea of qualifications of a student. So suitable desha is important. Similarly, kalaha, time. The time can refer to two things. Can mean the age of the person. As a person grows old, a person becomes more and more mature. The one who, having gone through the experiences of life, parikshalokan, karmachitan, having examined the world and his experiences, then he is much more mature, and I want to pursue this knowledge that way. So that's why we have in our scheme of life brahmacharya ashrama, grahastha ashrama, vanaprastha ashrama, and sannyasa ashrama. The entire scheme of life has been designed. So age matters. People say for Vedanta only old people come. It is regrettable. I don't have any regret, because mature people alone can appreciate its value. Because they have seen all other things, what they can do, what their limitations are. Youngsters are required for karma shastra pradhana activities. Only very rarely youngsters come for Vedanta. They are mature, they can understand. We don't have to rule them out, depends. Hence kalaha, the age or time. And you can also take it as within a day also, what is an appropriate time. Not afternoon after lunch. You sit down to study Vedanta. So no knowledge will come. So appropriate time. Similarly, the word adya means etc. Other things, environment, setup, study, not in the dining hall. What thoughts will come? Even in your own house, puja room is separate, dining room is separate. Thus, desha, kala, the external surrounding influences are all there. They are called sahakarinaha, supportive means, auxiliary causes, secondary causes. Asmin phala siddhau, for accomplishing this moksha siddhau, for attaining liberation. Now that you have understood this, do not waste any more time. Okay, so let us study this in earnest. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.